Sports Extra. From 7 to 8 p.m., highlights of local sports around the Cayman Islands. Sports Extra.
It's amazing to see the improvement of the team.
Sports Extra, keeping you informed. Good evening and welcome to Sports Extra. Tonight we're covering the latest in Cayman basketball, from tournaments and youth leagues to international competition. Up first we have CBA President, the Cayman Islands Basketball Association President, Mr. Colin Anglin. Good evening.
Good evening. Pleasure to be here.
I'm glad you're here as well. Mr. Anglin joins us to recap Hoop Fest, as you've heard us reporting on last week. It's a preview. He'll also be previewing the new Under 10 mini leagues, highlighting the Eckerd College basketball camp's impact, and sharing, of course, updates on the senior men's 3x3 squad ahead of the AmeriCup and the Nations League as well. That's coming off next week, right? Then, of course, we'll be joined by 4 of Cayman's national male players heading to Chile for the FIBA Nations League 3x3. So Captain Nate Anderson will lead the way alongside 3 first-time teammates making their debut that will be here tonight. The first 3 we heard from, I think, 2 weeks ago, so we're going to hear from a different 3 this time. So we've got plenty to unpack. Stay tuned to us.
Where your group works can have many sounds, telephones ringing, machines humming, or even waves crashing. But no matter what sounds your group hears when they're working, BAF Insurance has a health insurance plan for your group. You can always count on BAF for affordable, flexible group and individual health insurance plans with professional, friendly customer service. We are BAF. Call us at 949-5089. Your health is our priority.
For the Record with Ort Connor.
Folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and, by extension, For the Record into your home.
Hear from your government and community leaders on issues and events concerning the Cayman Islands and its residents during Radio Cayman's For the Record talk radio program, airing each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning from 7:30 to 10.
For the Record.
For the Record.
For the Record
is brought to you by JN Money, from abroad to Yard. Fast, affordable, convenient. For more information, visit jnmoneyonline.com. Shaken yet standing firm.
I was not built to break.
This is Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Alrighty, welcome to Radio Cayman Sports Extra. In the studio with us, we have Mr. President, Mr. CBA President Colin Anglin in the studio with us. And I know you're a basketball fanatic, but I know you were a former sports director as well. So you're also into other sports like cricket, who we're going to hear a little bit about before we get into some basketball, because I know for most cricket fans, you've heard of West Indies as they wrote an unwanted new chapter in the history books when they crumbled to just 27 all out against Australia on Monday. So the second lowest score in Test history. So I know that's been very disappointing for many. So they said the extraordinary innings has prompted a top-level review of West Indies cricket, and it has thrown up several memorable statistics, good or bad. Even so, the president, Cricket West Indies president, Dr. Kishore Shaloo, he actually sent out a very, very long message, which I would not read all of it, but, he sounded very defeated and disappointed, the 2 Ds. And they also said, as an immediate step, they have advised the chair of the cricket strategy and officiating committee to convene an emergency meeting to review the recent Test series against Australia, particularly the final match. It's that serious. So serious that they have extended invitations to 3 of their greatest ever batsmen, Sir Clive Lloyd, Sir Vivian Richards, and Brian Lara. They will join past greats Dr. Shivnarine Chandapal, Dr. the Most Honorable Desmond Haynes, Ian Bradshaw, who already serve on the committee. So they're all coming together to figure out what's going on with West Indies cricket and how they can better the team. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's that's a huge undertaking, but I guess, given the results, drastic times come for drastic measures.
Yes, and different strategies are definitely needed as well, right? And so it's good that they're bringing those great minds together who have done it before, the greatest ever, as they said, who've paved the way before to come on, to come together and strategize.
Yep.
So hopefully that helps them in that way. But we'll leave that talk for when I have the local cricketers on here. They would probably love that topic. So I know there's also a local cricket tournament coming up very soon. So we'll discuss that on our local sports. But in the meantime, we're going to talk to SEBA President, Mr. Colin Anglin, about the recent Hoop Fest that took place at the John Gray Gym and Cayman Bay Arc last week, which was huge, between the Texas Tigers, Campion College Crocs, the Cayman Under-17 Storm, and the Cayman Bulldogs. So that was pretty good. It was a pretty decent tournament, you'd say?
Yeah, we were quite happy with how it came out, and we had great feedback from the teams. They cannot wait to come back. They loved pretty much everything about the tournament. They loved the organization of it. They loved the hospitality. And, they loved the facilities. They loved, where they were staying over at Governor's Village. They got to experience the island. We took them on some excursions and all that stuff as well to see the island. So, and of course, there was great competition. So it was great feedback, and definitely this is the first in terms of Hoop Fest. We used to have a tournament that we called the Cayman Basketball Festival.
Right.
But we just ended up doing a rebrand and say, hey, we want to spice it up. We want to come up with a new name, just kind of new everything, and new logo and all that kinds of stuff, which people really liked and all of that. So so it was good. It was good, and so this is just the first of more to come.
Yeah, definitely. And congratulations to our Cayman Under-17 Storm, who were the champions. They went undefeated throughout the entire tournament.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, they've been doing very well. As a matter of fact, last year there was a Battle by the Beach that happened with Coach Corey, and they won that tournament as well.
Right.
And before this tournament, our team actually went over to Eckerd College to a team camp. We used that as a preparation for that. And so they did very well over there. They won the majority of the game. I think they won 5 and lost 2 over there. They lost their first couple of games on the first day, and then they went on and they won all the rest of their games. So the guys have been working really hard. Hats off to our coaches as well. Coach JP, the head coach, Coach Duran Whitaker, and Coach Mark, assistant coaches there. They've been working really hard with the guys, and it's a program that's continued to develop. Last year, we were able to get several players off overseas to prep schools and high schools, which gives them a few years to acclimate into the U.S. system in order for them to get more exposure as well. And so some of them were able to come back and play. So it was really good.
What were some of your standout moments at the Hoop Fest this year, on and off the court?
Well, I mean, I think on the court, I really liked how our Storm team looked. Of course, they're the seniors, right? We had 2 teams. We also had our Bulldogs team. And, in defense to them, they are a very young team.
Yes.
You have like some 14-year-olds on there.
Right.
But we wanted to give them their first taste of international competition. And so it was tough, but that's understandably so. There's a lot that happens in the space of 3 years between 14 and 17 in terms of one's physical development and their skill development as well. So I think they fared pretty well. The team originally did not plan on playing, because originally we were supposed to have Turks and Caicos. But something beyond their control happened, so Turks and Caicos wasn't able to come again, and so we also had the Bulldogs team come in.
It was nice of them. They knew it was going to be a tough tournament, and they made up their minds to come and compete regardless.
Yeah,
win or
exactly,
lose.
exactly.
Yeah.
And this really, as the saying goes, adversity reveals a man to himself. Where you go through some tough times, it's always easy to do things when you're winning or when you're the best, etc. But to really show your mettle and what you're made of,
Right.
you got to go through some tough times. When we first started with our national program, I still remember, we lost the national team that I was on when we first started, we lost our first 14 international games.
Right.
We did a lot of losing at first.
Yes,
but,
so true.
But we had to we kept fighting.
Yes.
We refused to give up, and then it motivated us because we knew this is why we worked so hard in practice, because we knew what we were preparing for. So it's important for you to step out of the bubble that is Cayman and to be able to play against competition that's from outside.
And the Minister of Sports stopped by as well, because it was a very busy Saturday that day. I think they had the Saturday Night Rumble boxing match was also there with Roy Jones Jr. and our very own Jaden Eccleston, who won his match. Congrats to Jaden again. And I trained him well. Well, you know what? The minister actually said, he went to the first 5 or 6 fights.
Yeah.
Because it started earlier than Hoop Fest, and then he
Right.
came over to the final match to see the big game between the Storm. And he really said, I really enjoyed it, because he saw it last year as well, and he saw the improvements. He could actually point out the improvements of the young men and how
Yep.
where they came from to where they are now, and he was actually quite impressed. So
Yep.
that's good. It's very nice of him to show the interest as well and to show up to basketball.
Our team definitely looks stronger than last year. I think they moved the ball better than last year as well. I think we took care of the ball better as a
Yes.
team. There's obviously things that you got to work on, no doubt. But I really did like the way we looked. We played good team ball, in my opinion.
What kind of feedback do you get from players after tournaments like this?
Most of it was gratitude.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about, because it's for them. So a lot of it, I got some personal messages. Coach Duran Whitaker or Coach Trini, he gave me a name, Prezi, right? So all of the players now, they're like, hey, Prezi, right? But I got a lot of messages, just saying, Prezi or, Mr. Collin or Coach Collin, we just want to say that we're very thankful for the opportunity to play. It was great. That helped me. Some players told me it really helped them for their confidence as well. Right. It was great to be able to play at that level.
And to play in front of your home crowd.
And to play in front of the home crowd.
And we had a wonderful crowd as well. You guys, I saw that.
We had some really good fan support. I want to say thanks to all the parents and the fans, the extended basketball family and friends that came out. It means the world to those kids. And so really grateful that they got to do that. That's really important, and we want to have more tournaments here in Cayman.
Awesome. How do you compare the level of competition to previous editions?
I think the level of competition was good. I also think that we got better.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think people may take it for granted that our team is really good. Like I said, not to rest on our laurels. You still got to put your head down and keep working, because there's more competition out there that we haven't tasted yet, and so we have to get ready for that. But the team is continuing to improve, and so that improvement is something that you can't ignore, that you have to recognize and let them know that you see that. So I think that it was very good.
I honestly did not expect them to be that good. I didn't know. So I was very surprised myself, and like many other people, they were like, well, they were talking about the two teams, the teams that visited, and it's sort of, their comments were along the lines of, why we brought those weaker teams here. But it's not that the teams were weaker. It was just that Cayman was just that good, to be honest. They surprised everybody. The teams, they were really good. They
played very well. I mean, first of all, we got to understand that Texas is a big basketball state.
Yes, exactly.
At any point in time, there's always kids that come down that have multiple college offers. A lot of them, in terms of the Texas teams that come down, they are combination teams that form pretty newly, so some of their chemistry might be a little bit off,
right?
But they're great players.
Yes, they were.
Like the two of the top scorers in the entire tournament were from the Texas team.
Yes. 53 points, right?
Yeah,
Sino
Nagin, right?
Yes.
And then there was Jeremiah Thirdkill. But 3 of the top scorers, of the top 6 scorers in the tournament, did come from our U17 team as well. So we had lots of firepower, but like I said, we played better team ball, so there was better distribution of scoring as well.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people take that for granted. And Campion College, again, they are one of the top high school teams in Jamaica. So, I always say to people that when it comes to homegrown talent, I think Cayman punches way above its weight class. So even when I was competing, I remember when we competed in the U17 tournament way back in the day, and we went over to play in Jamaica. And we played against some teams that when we met the players are like, oh, this is my first time being here in this country. My grandfather is from so-and-so and this and that. And so, I got recruited and I'm playing based on lineage versus homegrown, what I call homegrown talent.
Right.
And so I think when it comes to homegrown talent, we can punch with the best of them. No pun intended. I'm segueing there for Jaden.
Yes.
Right. But so I was really proud of the boys, and like I said, the way they performed, and I think this will open things up a bit. Next year, I do hope that we can get a few things sorted with facilities so that we can have even more teams. That was one of the reasons why we were limited to only 4, because
it'd be nice to see Bahamas, Turks and Caicos as planned, and
they really
Trinidad and Tobago.
They really wanted to come.
Yes.
They were disappointed. And there was another tournament happening, I think, over in Barbados as well.
Yeah. Bahamas.
In Barbados.
Barbados. Okay.
So, but more and more of us, Caribbean and National Federation presidents, etc., we are collaborating a lot more because we want that inter-Caribbean competition.
Right.
We want our players to be able to compete against each other and to really showcase the Caribbean talent.
There seems to be a lot of focus, a heightened focus around 3x3, and there's not much 5-on-5 basketball going on around the Caribbean. Can you explain what's happening?
Well, I think regionally there's been a bit of trouble with the cost of 5-on-5 tournaments.
Right.
It's not because there is not an emphasis on 5-on-5, because traditional basketball, which is 5-on-5 basketball, that's where our kids get the main scholarship opportunities from, etc. And so we love that style of basketball. And so we're going to play whatever we can play in. What's been happening, though, a lot of people don't realize, there are a lot of tournaments that are happening in our region, but they just haven't been FIBA-sanctioned tournaments. So you're not hearing about it at that level. But as a response, I think a lot of the federations are starting to have more of these tournaments amongst ourselves. However, we do want to get back to that place where we have more of the FIBA-sanctioned tournaments. Now, when it comes to the Americas region, which is a region that we're in, the primary difficulty is the costs, especially associated with travel.
Right.
So we are very unique in terms of when you look at Europe, when you look at Africa, when you look at Asia. For most, just about everybody else, travel is not a very expensive item.
Right.
You can, if you don't want to fly, because it's intercontinental, it's a lot cheaper. If you don't want to fly, you can take a train, you can take a bus, whatever that be. We don't have those options. Being on islands, we don't have those options. We have to fly. And so that doubles, if not triples, the cost of your tournament.
Especially because it's not an individual sport, right? It's
It's
a team sport.
Right. And when you talk about 5-on-5, you're not just talking about 3 or 4 players. You're talking about a contingent of at least 15. You got 12 players 15, plus your assistant coaches, team managers, and stuff. So the cost is very significant, and so that created some issues ever since COVID. And so regionally we're working on solutions to that in terms of getting back with FIBA hosted tournaments. Next year on the calendar is slated for the CBC men's tournament for 5-on-5.
Okay.
So we have every intention of taking part in that. And so we're working really hard now. From a Cayman standpoint, we are doing whatever we can to try to assist with anyone who's trying to host. Obviously, from our side, we have a primary focus of trying to get our own training facility in our own home,
Right.
first in terms of utilizing that level of funding. It has to be something for a home for basketball because our programs are bursting at the seams. We don't have enough time, as much time as we would like to implement the programs and grow the programs that we want.
Yeah, like right now, our women's 3x3 team that's also attending the Nations League, they're training on the outside because of not having any facilities available.
Yeah, and then sometimes you book a facility and then for some reason or the other, it might,
Someone might
the
overlook
booking,
it. Or,
the booking might get canceled or there are certain things that can happen. And again, we're grateful to the organizations that let us use their facilities. We are grateful for that. But we also understand that they have to manage multiple stakeholders. And so that's where the difficulty comes in because there are more people that have to use that facility. So.
All right. Okay, so we're going to jump into the under-10 leagues that are coming up this fall. What inspired the push to launch under-10 leagues this fall?
Well, one of our overall goals is to grow mini basketball. So when you talk about mini basketball, you're talking about ages 5 through 12.
Okay.
And so, mini basketball, that is at the heart of the growth of your sport. If you want to see the future of your sport, you have to see what your grassroots and what your youth programs look like. Right. And so we have a lot of robust leagues. For example, we have under 12 boys and girls. Had over 29 teams recently in the primary school league. For under 14, we had about 18 boys and girls teams. Then we have under 16 boys and girls, had about 10 boys and girls teams. We have under 19 boys and girls leagues, about 10 boys and girls teams. And then we have, senior men and women. But so there's lots of leagues, but we want to start getting kids more into the organized version of the sport at a younger age. I remember when I was in primary school, you did the Pee Wee football leagues. You were playing organized football from the time you were seven, and still to this day it still happens. So the same thing has to happen for us as well. We want earlier exposure. If you want to have a dynamic product, when you look at some of the greatest players that we've had, for example, one of our most outstanding players, Latori Nixon, by the time Latori was 13, 14, she had at least 7 years of basketball under her belt.
So true.
And she was a phenom. And back in the day, we had what was called upward basketball that used to be run at First Baptist Church.
I remember that.
So, but that was an organized version of the game. And so we want to get kids into that. Now, first and foremost, at that age, it is about fun.
Yes.
It is about kids. We call it fundamentals, right?
Yes.
So they learn the fundamentals, but the key thing about that is they got to have fun. We want them to enjoy themselves. We want them to fall in love with the sport. That's the purity of the sport. And by doing that, that increases the likelihood of those children and their parents staying involved and following the sport as well. But, we just want to be able to use that because basketball is a tool and it's a vehicle.
Speaking of the parents, what kind of support or involvement are you seeking from parents and schools to help grow mini basketball?
Well, it can't happen without them.
Yeah.
So, and I have to say, anytime I've reached out to parents about helping, they're like, Colin, I'm in. Let me know what you need. So that's a beautiful thing about the sport at that level as well. So many parents are very much into it and they want to help and support anything their kids love and are a part of. So that's been good. And I would just say parents be on the lookout because we'll certainly be shooting out some information very soon in the coming weeks about what we want to do in late September, early October in terms of the league. How
are you going to measure success for this particular initiative?
It's going to be about levels of participation.
Okay.
So first and foremost is that when you talk about grassroots and youth levels, you're talking about the widest base of your performance pyramid, right? So at the base, it's got to be as wide as possible, meaning you want as many people as possible taking part in that sport. And then from that, you build competence, you build confidence. And from there, okay, some will decide it's not for me. Let me go try something else. And it's important for kids to try out as many different sports as possible when they're young. So, and from there, that also helps to serve for some talent identification. You can identify some children very early who may be gifted in certain areas. It's no different than academics, right? At very young ages, you can identify some children who are gifted academically. And so you want to harness that. And, you bring them into a special program where they continue to be challenged because they're operating at a different pace.
Right.
It's no different than when you do that in sport as well. So yeah, in terms of measuring success, is going to be levels of participation and of course, just, I would say, unity amongst our volunteers to really make sure that we're all singing from the same hymn book, so to speak, that it's about fun. It's about teaching kids values through the sport.
Make sure you get the parents on board with the fun part.
Yeah. I mean,
that can get.
We're gonna have to post our parents' code of conduct here. I mean, but for the most part, I can say that from what we've experienced, our parents have been awesome. We recently launched a new league, which was a under 13 league.
Yes.
It was a pilot program. It was the Kelly Law 13 and under league, and that was a great success. And I would say that our parents were great. And
yes.
We said, hey, look, there's two rules. When somebody scores, you clap. If your team scores, you clap louder.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it. Just remember what it's about. It's about the kids. It's about building their confidence, encourage them, cheer them on.
I know we're almost at the end of the time here, but sure. I know quite a few kids are heading off to Eckerd College camp this weekend. Tell us a little bit more about the Eckerd College camp. I know you were a part of that at some point in time in your basketball career.
So were you.
I can't talk about me, so I'll talk about
yeah. That relationship with Eckerd College, through our technical director, Coach Vu, that's been going on for so long, decades. And again, that's a great exposure opportunity for kids to be able to travel, take part in a camp outside of the Cayman Islands, be exposed to college players and college coaches over there in the United States who participate and help with that. And it's definitely a different experience. I remember back then, because when we trained here, there was no place with AC. So I remember one of the things was going over there and playing in air condition.
And the flooring as well.
Yeah, and then the flooring, So we've come a long way since then. But again, it's always great to have that great experience. Like I said, our boys team, they went to a team camp. This one is actually going to be an individual camp now. And so we have about 20 parents and kids that are going to be going over to Eckerd College very soon to experience that.
What sort of opportunities would you say did Eckerd College camp provide for Cayman's athletes?
It was about broadening our horizons. It was about, again, exposure. I think it was Oliver Wendell Holmes. He said, a mind once expanded by a new idea can never return to its original form. And so I think that when you continue to have your mind expanded, when it's stretched, that you can start to see a larger vision of yourself, that you can start to say, wow, I'm outside of Cayman. This is how basketball looks out here. This is how hard people are working here. This is a brand new thing. It stretches your mind. You can't unsee it. You can't unlearn it. And so that helps you to grow personally. It motivates you to a much larger degree because, like I said, when you come back home, even though you may be starring down here because of what you've experienced, right, you can't forget that. So now where you kind of thought that, hey, this is the be-all, end-all and I am it, now you're thinking, oh, no, I know the people I got to compete against. I got to keep working.
Awesome. And, what does partnership with Eckerd College mean for future training and talent development here on island?
Well, I would say that for one, they always are on the lookout, it creates a relationship where if you have someone that is talented enough that can play at that level, you kind of already have a foot in the door because of that relationship. And I want to say that we also want to increase that relationship and expand that way beyond to as many different organizations as possible, because it's not one size fits all. One school does not work for every single child. And so it is our job to try to expand our network as much as possible, that based on children's individual abilities, we will see if we can find a program that they can thrive in.
Right. I know we had two former national players that played at Eckerd College. That was Zena Davis and Samuel Ogaro. I think those were the two. I think those were the only two that we had that played for Eckerd College. So that was a really good opportunity as well.
They wanted Ethan Manderson really bad.
Yes.
But he decided not to go there. That didn't pan out. But yeah.
Awesome. Well, I know our 3x3 guys are waiting. So before they come in, what are some of the preparations that are underway for the Nations League that's coming up next week, and of course the AmeriCup Senior 3x3 in November? That's November.
Yeah. Again, so we've been climbing the ranks, and that's been giving us more and more opportunities for tournaments that we never taken part in before in our history. It's given us the opportunity now to come up against countries that we've never gotten to play in our history before.
Yeah.
And so 3x3 has been that avenue for the past couple of years. And like I said, whether it's 3x3 and 5-on-5, we're going to play any opportunity we have a chance to. And this upcoming Nations League, the guys have been working very hard. They're training pretty much every day. Whenever we can get a facility, we just try to make the most of what we can. And so we're going to be playing against, powerhouses like the United States, Venezuela, Chile, Argentina. These are all top 5 in the region, and I would say top 20, top 30 in the world, right? And we're not doing too bad ourselves. For our under 23 category, we're ranked, I think, about 48th or something now. Yeah, that's going to climb after we take part in the upcoming competition as well. So, but no one takes the Cayman Islands for a joke.
Right.
That's very important. Last year, we shocked Argentina because we beat them in the 3x3 game. And so that rocked everyone in the tournament, and it was all eyes on Cayman after that. So nobody is looking at us as an underdog just because we're a tiny country. I'm telling you, nobody's taking us lightly. So that says that we're moving in the right direction, and believe me, anything can happen. I really believe in our players.
Awesome. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. We're going to give room now for Nate Anderson and his 3x3 squad to step on in and tell us a little bit about how preparation has been as they head to Chile this weekend. All right?
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Stay tuned.
This summer, choose from 10 international destinations for your vacation with Cayman Airways. Explore New York, discover Denver, roam Los Angeles, play in Tampa, shop in Miami, tour Panama, uncover Havana, hike in La Ceiba, jam in Kingston, or relax in Montego Bay. Connecting flights are also available from the sister islands. Cayman Airways offers more international non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline, and the lowest rates for checked bags. Book today at CaymanAirways.com, download our new mobile app, or call Cayman Airways reservations on 949-2311. Come fly with us and relax with your uniquely Caymanian airline.
In accordance with the Standards in Public Life Act, persons in public life must submit their 2025 declarations to the Register of Interests by 30th of July. Persons in public life include members of Parliament, senior public servants, and members of governing bodies of statutory authorities and government companies. Failure to submit a required declaration is an offence under the Act and can result in penalties. For more information or to file your annual declarations to the Register of Interests, visit www.standardsinpubliclifecommission.ky. /register of interest by 30th of July 2025.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Continuing the Caymanian tradition.
Let Cora keep my ground so clean.
The heart and soul of the Cayman people. Thank you for keeping the culture alive.
Let's read the news every day. From East End to Georgetown, down into West Bay.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
All right, welcome back to Radio Cayman's Sports Extra. We heard from SEBA president. Now we're going to hear from its athletes, and we have 5 athletes that representing the Cayman Islands Basketball Association as they head off to Chile for the 3x3, the Nations League 3x3 tournament. And from my right, we're going to start with you, just introducing yourself.
My name is Omar Gordon.
Okay.
My name is Nathaniel Anderson.
I'm Brad Lansdale.
Okay.
I'm Terry Montague.
Okay. Very nice. How are you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Very well.
Doing good.
Yeah. How has preparation been?
Daily.
That's good. That's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
It's been a lot of hard days. This week is gonna be a little more chill, kind of just going through the mechanics of the stuff. But the last few weeks we definitely been trying to make sure we're in game shape and get ready for the.
So are you guys in game shape?
Yeah.
What has Nate been telling y'all? Because he's been there before. What has he been telling y'all about this league?
There's gonna be like competitive, you know what I mean. So we have to play like aggressive.
What else? There's more. I'm sure he's told you more. There's more. Let me hear it.
The physicality is something that we likely haven't faced in like 5-on-5. Because 3-on-3 is a lot more of a physical game. They let stuff go. So we've been trying to prepare for that, and that's been one of the key things for us, just playing through contact. And
what is one of the key things you think, Nate, that you've realized about the 3x3 leagues? What is one of the key assets that an athlete must have, at least? That's my question.
I think after going last year, especially a guy like me, like I try to dribble the ball a lot, but I think a real asset in 3v3, and we've talked about with the guys, is like being able to strategize and move without the ball, not dribble it, and that is a serious asset. If you have that, even if you're not in the best shape, those teams, they still manage to win games just because they use no energy on offense because the strategy is so good. So I think that's the most important part.
I see the majority of you are wearing Cayman colors. What does it mean to you to, just to represent Cayman on the international stage? Can I hear from you, Umar?
It's a good feeling, to represent the Cayman Islands, because we're a small island.
Yes.
So it's just a very nice feeling.
What about you, Tori? I'm questioning especially the ones that haven't been here. We've heard from him. We've heard from him before.
Too much.
I love same thing as Omar, basically. It's a great feeling to represent the Cayman Islands. You know what I mean? It's a small island, as he said. You know what I mean? So to put on that
you know,
that
name on our chest.
The country's name and then your last name too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It means a lot.
Awesome. So for the first timers, how are you mentally and physically preparing for your debut at the Nations League?
Just being calm, being ready to play.
I like your voice. Isn't his voice just deep? It just like takes over everything. Don't tell him what.
Don't get used to this. This is an act.
We don't get an act. For his
No, it's not an act. I've heard him before. You have a very nice radio voice, by the way. So you have to answer that question. I just want to hear you answer it again.
You may forget the question.
Yeah. How have you been mentally and physically preparing for this
Physically
tournament?
preparing, just the everyday practicing, just making sure that I'm ready to go from day to day to day. And mentally just having a calm approach to the game, knowing that as soon as we step on the floor, it doesn't matter who we're playing against. We just do what we do and trust the work that we put in.
What has it been like? This is a huge transition for many of you who've played 5-on-5 basketball, right? So what has that been like for you, that transition from 5-on-5 to 3x3?
Honestly, I've loved it because you don't really like get lost in the game. Like with 5 people on the court, you might be stuck in the corner for a couple of possessions, but 3-on-3, you're always engaged. And you always have an impact on the play, which is something that that's why I love playing basketball, because I love being part of the game.
Yeah. I remember when you played here, what is 2017?
2019.
That was 2019 with Joshua?
Yeah.
Wow. It just seems like it was like forever ago. But your brother played as well. What is he doing now?
He's working up in Canada and just taking care of his schoolwork.
Doesn't play ball anymore?
No, he actually tore his ACL, so he's out.
Ouch. Okay, sorry to hear that. So what's the team's mindset going into this tournament, and how are you building chemistry off the court? What have you all been doing to build chemistry? Because this is all about chemistry as well, this 3x3.
I mean, we play every day, so we kind of...
So you're basically saying we play every day, so I don't need to see them off the court?
No.
Not really.
No. Okay. I thought that's what I heard.
No. I was saying that in terms of like building chemistry, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the more we play, the more we understand each other's like weaknesses and strengths.
Okay. And Umar, what about you? How's that transition been for you from 3x3, from 5-on-5, I should say, to 3x3?
I think it's really been different because there's it's 5-on-5 and 3-on-3. There's 6 players on the court, so it's smaller. You gotta move the ball faster. And like what Brad was saying, you're always involved, and like what Nat has been telling me since we've been training, the physicality. So I think it would be a lot different just based on those 2 aspects.
All right, Nate, you're captain and you've been there before. What lessons did you take from the previous campaign that you're now sharing with your teammates? They shared a little bit about what you may have told them, but what have you shared with them from your previous experience at the Nations League?
Well, from what I remember, it was like pretty much last time we went, we were undersized.
Yeah.
We're a little bit bigger this time, but it still makes no difference. And to see teams like Chile, from what I remember, and I know you remember, is like they weren't big, but they still managed to win games because, they had a strategy that no one could beat. And I think that this time I told the guys that, look, we got to play defense and we got to get stops. And we got to use less energy on offense so that we can get stops. And I think that's the most important part. I have an unrealistic mindset, like they like to say. I think we could win, 4 or 5 games. I really do, especially with this team now. So that's kind of the mindset we have going into it. Or at least I hope the guys have it.
Awesome. I like it. How do you balance leading the squad while focusing on your own performance?
Nah, man. I mean, it was the same kind of last year, but I love these guys. T was talking about it earlier, but like we do spend a lot of time together hooping. But there have been nights. I've been with Brad 2-3 in the morning. We watching 3-on-3, and we finish practice, and it's like guys want to go home. They got work, but we stay in talking about absolutely nothing. I love these guys, and I don't feel like I'm a leader, but I just want to see them win, and that's where it kind of comes in. So
definitely, I know. We've all played 5-on-5, but 3-on-3 is something that you naturally play anyway in basketball. Street ball, right? You're on the street, on the corner. That's what you pick up ball. That's what you call it, just 3-on-3. And it's so beautiful to see it take shape into what it is now, into the universal sport that it has become. It's now an Olympic sport, right? Hoping maybe it can be an island game sport sometime. That would be great. You know, so do you guys feel the same way? Like, it's like, wow, to see it develop to where it is, the 3-on-3 game?
Yeah, it's a blessing. Like, especially like seeing it happen as like I'm in like my prime of my playing years. Like growing up, I always loved playing 3-on-3 for like the fact that nobody's pressuring me to like pass the ball. I could just get buckets. I'm still pass the ball when it comes down to it. But,
we'll see
but
about
that's where my love for the game
we'll
came from.
See about that.
You know how they come. You know how they come.
So what's unique about preparing for a 3x3 with this format compared to the traditional 5-on-5? You'd say, Umar. You guys can help him out where you.
I just say it's totally different. We just been in a half court setting, and usually in the 5-on-5, like, because I played in Europe, in the 5-on-5 setting, you gotta run a play. So, like, running the play is extremely important.
Yeah.
Because you gotta find an option to score. You can't just go 1-on-1, especially like not being preaching. They're very physical, so it's gonna be harder. So I just think like us implementing the plays every practice, trying to perfect it, it has been like a real game changer and like a really good point to focus on.
Nice, very nice. And there's a center now.
Yeah,
who is this? These two or just him?
No, it's just him. This guy right here. Yeah.
Oh, this is amazing.
Right?
Yeah,
we got some size now.
How do you feel about that? How do you guys feel? You know what? How do you feel? Because the last time you didn't have any. You know. What's his name? Who's supposed to be in here?
Alwyn. I don't know.
Alwyn. He disappeared on me, but he was supposed to be your center last time, but he was injured. It's so nice to see him healthy this year.
Oh man, I feel like I'm happy. I've never been. I don't know about the guys, but I've been running around my house telling my parents. I know they're annoyed now, but I'd be like, I'm so excited to play. You know, us having Alwyn, obviously, you know. It's not even about size with Alwyn. It's just like his personality.
Yes.
He makes a big difference when it comes to screens or, you know, just those hustle plays. But, you know, T coming in, he been really working.
Yes.
You know, we can see it. We appreciate him for it. He got the call and he showed up. And I think that having him will make a huge difference on both sides of the ball. So I'm happy. You know how it was last year. So
yeah, I do. You guys missed the inside presence, and we were really grieving Alwyn not being able to play. So it's so good to have two now.
Yeah, two.
I think that's amazing. What do the others bring to the table? The other two that are here with me, what do they bring to the table?
Shooters.
See, man. I think you know, I didn't even know Brad. You know, me and Brad are very close. Like, we live abroad, obviously, but we didn't even know it. And Brad's come in and he just shows, like, he's going to play his game. You know what I mean? And he's just getting straight to it. He played a few games. We haven't seen him much. He's been chilling recently, but obviously very aggressive. Umar, defensive side of the ball is insane. You know, kid don't get tired.
Yeah.
It's a little annoying for me. Yeah, you know, it's a little annoying for me in practice, but it's
that's
good.
The best thing you want to hear. Is the most important thing you want to hear at this time is that someone does not get tired.
You don't get tired.
You're playing 3x3. He doesn't get tired either. Nate, it's like an Energizer bunny in the court. And that's what we need, right? That's what we need. So awesome. I've seen you play 5-on-5. You're an excellent player. I haven't seen you in years, though. So it's good to see you in this format as well. Yeah, are there any particular strategies or matchups here you guys are focusing on ahead of Chile?
Yeah. I think last time as we saw, you know, obviously, you know, the president, he was very heavily invested in us, and so what happened was that we didn't really have a lot of sets going into Mexico last year, but this time we are prepared. We got plays coming out right when we get the ball out the net. We got them coming off the check. We got different plays, and we all know them. So it's just gonna make our life a little bit easier, man.
Yeah, and Umar said something very important about moving without the ball as well. Yeah, and just getting to the basket, right? It's very important to get there and to make your layups. Trust me, because when you miss, you don't get back. Sometimes you don't get back that opportunity, right? So we gotta finish and all that. So how is training? You know, how has training been overall? It's been good. Coach Trini, how's he doing?
He's doing a great job.
Yeah,
like
he's listening.
Yeah, he's taking stuff from.
Y'all better talk nice about
Yeah, I know. Like over at the training camp that we did in Paraguay.
Yes.
There was a lot of like the international coaches that have proven themselves on the big stage.
That's right. Yeah.
And he was taking notes from everything, like taking videos, making sure that we're doing what the winning teams do to give ourselves the best opportunity to compete at that level. So we don't really have an excuse not to be prepared.
Coach Trini has an awesome memory as well.
Man,
awesome memory.
That guy,
an elephant. Right?
That guy gonna speak at my wedding. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I love him, bro.
That's awesome. I forgot you guys actually. Was it the same group that went to Paraguay?
Yeah. It was
with the exception of
these two were not there.
They were not there.
Unfortunately,
Okay, so Brad, you were there.
But he was there. Yeah.
What did you take from that experience? That was a good experience for you, actually.
Yeah.
So at least you got your foot wet there.
Yeah, it's the first time seeing like the 3-on-3 type practices, like the way that other people were doing it, and the competition level. It was a high level of competition, but at the same time, it like brought it like down to like reality. So it's like not like they're superstars on TV. It's like, yeah, we can compete, and if we do what we need to do and play our game on the day, we can win games.
Okay.
So it's a positive experience.
So Umar, Tori, Brad, Nate, and your other two are?
Yeah, Alwyn and Brian.
Brian.
Yes.
Awesome. So that's the full squad that's heading there.
Squad full.
Yeah. It's going to be pretty good, and it's interchangeable, I think, every night. Is that?
Yeah.
I think that's how it was the last time. You can change players as you go along.
Fortunately, Alwyn was injured last time, so we couldn't even make like the changes we wanted. But this time, we got numbers.
They were exhausted, poor things.
Man.
Yeah. It was a flat 3?
Yeah, remember one time we got Lance got injured, so it was just 3 of us playing, and it was bad.
Yeah.
So
okay, awesome. So how do you guys, especially with that experience in Paraguay, how do you approach facing more seasoned or professional teams on that type of stage, the international stage?
I mean, we went in, and I gotta say that Paraguay, obviously we were, unfortunately we couldn't play. 2 of our guys did get injured, so we weren't able to play in the final days, but we played for most of them.
Okay.
And I think that Paraguay was a confidence booster in a sense, because these guys had never really played before, and we still competed. We played Brazil in a scrimmage, and we lost 15-11. But to a team like Brazil, and for us to even be competing with them, we felt like we could have won. It definitely gave us a confidence booster. We saw different, sets and things that they bring into their practices to make it in, because you can practice on it, but if it's not instinctive, it just doesn't really matter. And so we copied their drills, and we've implemented them, and they'll make it successful, I believe. So
awesome. With your experience, is there a team or a player you're especially looking forward to face again?
I gotta tell you, like me and that Argentina coach, we wasn't seeing. We were both in Paraguay, and we wasn't seeing eye to eye. So
then,
yeah, man, you could ask the coaches. It was crazy. I'm going back for their heads again.
He remember you.
Yeah, he do. So I'm going back for their heads again. And
it's like him again.
I think genuinely with this team, we can beat them.
Yes.
I really believe it. Like, if we lost, I would be extremely upset, because we're going to compete every game. I don't think there's going to be any games where it's far-fetched for us this time when we go. So,
do you think they're going to have the same squad?
We've seen their squad. I'm not sure if they're going to bring the same guys that they brought to Paraguay, but they should. Those were older guys based off of the conversations we had with them. But, based on last year, we're confident again. So.
All right, sounds good. What does success look like for Cayman in this tournament beyond wins and losses?
I just say competing every possession, like never giving up in a game, and just continue to play our game.
Yeah, try and go on 100% at all times.
Yeah.
I mean, not every play. Yeah, and talking on defense.
Yeah.
I mean, helping on each other.
Stuff like that. And how are you guys hoping this trip will inspire younger players that will be watching back at home?
It's a gateway, I think, especially 3-on-3. I think that it puts our names out there, not even just for 3-on-3, but for bigger tournaments. And we're hoping that if we can secure some wins, or even show people that we're a force to be dealt with, that the younger generations coming up will be able to play in bigger arenas and bigger situations, because they know now, look, Cayman can produce this talent. So
awesome. And what about you, Umar? Is there any teams or players, because you guys have been doing your little research, watching all the FIBA pages on the 3x3 and all that, anyone you're looking to or excited to face? Or you just
I'm just ready to play and put my all, not really a specific player or a team.
Do you know
I just gonna treat every team the same, just go out there and just play at our best ability.
Awesome.
Try to win.
Okay. Do you all know who you're playing first?
We don't have the schedule, but we know who's in our pool.
Who?
So we have Canada, the US, and Venezuela, I believe, is in our pool. So every game is a game, And you know, me and Brad do live in, you know, Tori lives in the States, and me and Brad live in Canada. So any of those games that, you know, we could pick up a win, we'd be lit. You know, it'd be fire when we go back. So
Canada, USA, stop right there.
Oh, Argentina too. Sorry, Argentina.
Also, it's 4. Okay.
Yeah, Argentina's in our bracket as well. Yeah, I'm gonna smoke for them. You know,
Argentina is in your bracket.
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
Oh yeah.
This should be your first game.
I'm happy. You know. Yeah. You know.
After a tournament like this, like, what's the next step for each of you in your basketball journey?
Pan Am Games.
Yeah.
And then
Pan Am Games are in Paraguay, right?
Yeah, Paraguay coming up in August.
Mm-hmm.
This is like preparation for that. So.
Yes.
And we'll see what doors open up from playing at this level, and the future for me is uncertain, but I know that if I play well, then doors will open up.
I know you guys have faced a few hiccups in terms of facilities, getting places to train and stuff. How does that make you feel? And is there any message you would like to send to anyone that's out there that would like to help sponsor basketball, to help us get a home, and just let them know how important this sport is to you, and, you know, the competition and what preparation, what it means to have a facility to prepare for such important competition?
I believe that, you know, we have a lot of great athletes that come from this island and a lot of great sports. And I believe that basketball is one that is on the come up, but it is nowhere near like one of the bigger ones. You know what I mean? Obviously, in Mexico last year, we beat Argentina. And that's something that all through all sports, you know, we've never seen before. And we want to do the same thing again. So for those people who, you know, may possibly want to look into our basketball and sponsor us, just know that we're going out there to compete. And any game we do manage to win, or anything we do that could be outlandish for us, will be history. And so I think based on that, I think, you know, we should have a place where we just can go, look, we from here from 6 to 9 and we working for 3 hours, and we shouldn't worry about having to compete with spots, and, you know, so that's my honest opinion on it.
Awesome. Anyone else want to add to that?
Yeah, like I came down from Canada, and my whole plan was just grind until we can go for our trips to give ourselves the best opportunity to win. And being able to get into a gym is like, it's mandatory. Like, I need to be able to get into a gym, and that's all we really need as basketball players: access to a weight room and a gym. And
speaking of weight room, are you guys in the weight room?
Yes, ma'am.
Every day.
Yeah.
It's good team bonding as well. We live together, so it's just.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And we didn't mention it before, but as a team, like, we've been going out to the beach and doing beach workouts as well, to like for chemistry and just getting the speed up.
Injury prevention as well.
Yeah.
We don't want any ankle injuries this time, so we.
Who had the ankle injury last time?
Me, Lance, Javante, Alwyn. We all injured our ankles. So.
Okay. So how's that? How are your injuries now?
No. I had a minor tweak, so I still played. Like, you never, like, you know. But the other guys, obviously, in Alwyn, he did sprain his before he played, and so I just wanted to make sure that the guys didn't have. And when we went to Paraguay, 2 of our guys did sprain their ankles as well.
Okay.
So we wanted to make sure, look, we're going to spend some time on this beach so that when we go, because you're getting pushed and shoved, you remember, they pulling us, and it's a lot of, you know, strain on your muscles and stuff, so you want to make sure you're prepared.
Well, all the best to you guys. I will be cheering you guys on from Eckerd College. That's where I'll be this time around. I'll be with you in Paraguay.
Oh, yes, you will.
I will be there in Paraguay. That should be a very good one as well. And were you here for Hoop Fest? All of you were here for Hoop Fest?
We were.
What did you think of our young boys and how they performed?
We got some killers coming up. I'm a little scared, you know, obviously. You know, it's going to be, that generation as well as ours, it's going to be a battle. We're all going to be representing and competing on the national level with the national team soon, and I can just say that when I watched those games, I was highly entertained. Them boys can ball, so good job, boys.
Yeah. Did you see anything? You see any games?
Yeah, I saw the games, and it's a very talented group of guys.
Yeah.
And like what Nat was saying, we got to compete for spots for the national team. So
yeah, definitely.
With those
because you
guys,
guys are the new senior team.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right?
Yeah.
The other team, they're all washed up now.
Yeah. Nah, shout out to the boys.
I know, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, okay? And what about you, Tori? How do you feel about how did you feel about the young boys and how they performed?
They played well.
Yeah,
They
and not
played
just the under 17, right? Even the Bulldogs did well because they're very young, right? They were like 14-year-olds.
No, we had what people don't know too, and this is stuff that happens behind the scenes, is that we had to play them actually to prepare them.
Right.
So we played some of the under 17 boys, and there was some kids who they 14, 15, and they trying to get dunks on us and stuff. We like, yo, what we got going on in Cayman that I wasn't aware of, So.
All right, sounds good, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you, and all the best in Chile. Walk with your jackets. I heard it's very cold there. Very, very cold. All right, so that's it. That'll do it for tonight's edition of Sports Extra. Of course, from grassroots growth to international grit, Cayman basketball continues to rise. And tonight, we had a front row seat to that journey. All right, so a special thanks to Cayman basketball president, Mr. Colin Anglin, and of course, our national 3x3 players for sharing their insights and aspirations. We lost Alwyn, but he is sitting outside. Him and Brian, the extra two, the additional two to the team, they are outside it. They wanted to give the younger ones and the captain a chance to shine. So that's okay because they were here a couple of weeks ago. So if you'd like to be featured on our show or have any questions, feel free to reach out at sportsextracayman@gmail.com. To stay plugged in, follow Radio Cayman Sports Extra on social media for updates on all things sports across the island. And if, of course, you've missed a part of the show, head on to Radio Cayman's YouTube channel for tonight's full edition. All right, thank you so much for joining us. I'm DIONNE Anglin. Good night. God bless. Good night, guys.
Good night. Good night.
Sports Extra. From 7 to 8 p.m. highlights of local sports around the Cayman Islands. Sports Extra.
It's amazing to see the improvement of the team.
Sports Extra. Keeping you informed.